Hey, you guys, this is Casey from 30 Thoughts Podcast. I am doing another episode. I'm flying solo today. Ren should probably be back with me perhaps next episode, I'm hoping. We're going to get her on here soon. I'm super excited to have my girl on here with me. But I wanted to do an episode tonight to kind of talk about divorce. Divorce and breakups and everything in between because I feel like, obviously, coming from a divorced woman who not only is obviously divorced, but was on a whole TV show about it. Um, the thing is what I've noticed about being divorced is that it is something where it is not supposed to be a negative. So many people consider divorce a sad thing, a negative thing, and it's not. It's just not. That's why it's my biggest pet peeve when you tell someone, "Oh, yeah, we got a divorce," and their reaction is, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like, don't be. Do not be. Please don't be sorry for me. If anything, say congratulations. Like, I feel like if I could, like, do a class on, like, societal etiquette, I mean, I have the foulest fucking mouth, so that'd probably not be the best idea, but for this topic, literally, I feel like whenever you hear someone say, "Well, we got a divorce," and if their face you I mean, unless you're stupid, like, if you can read someone's body language and their face and you could see that this wasn't a very painful topic for them, say congratulations because you're not a failure because you got a divorce. If anything, divorce is like your rebirth to a better life. This is finally like breaking the chains, I feel like. And I want to direct this to specifically moms. I feel like there are so many women in this world who have kids with someone and they are so unhappy. And they think that the only best option is to stay with their husband. And that is probably the most toxic thing you could ever possibly do. Now, the thing is if you're unhappy and let's say people justify it like, "Yeah, I'm not very happy, but it's not like my husband beats me, blah, blah, blah." It doesn't matter just because you don't have the world's worst household for your kid to watch, they still pick up on everything. You wanna know how much they pick up on things? Take my son, for example. My son, he is with his dad 50% of the time. I'm very nice, and I chose to do 50-50 right off the bat because I was like, "Even though you're a shitty husband, you're a good dad." So I just agreed to 50-50. And because 'cause I'm not one of those people that's like, "I'm gonna take my son from you," and I don't use him as a pawn, That's my own shit aside, right? So the thing is with my son being at his dad's half the time, his dad has a whole girlfriend. Like, he moved no, not he moved her in. She moved herself in, within 4 weeks of dating, but she moved in, and they've been together for 2 years now. The thing is my son is around his dad and the girlfriend that he is fostering, and so my son sees that, he's around that and everything, and then when my son is with my boyfriend and I am in the most beautiful, healthy, the safest relationship I've ever been in. I have never felt more taken care of with my heart in my life. I feel like I can honestly say I have never been in love before because this is what love is. This is what love feels like. This is like the man that I am with, he is my protector. He grounds me. The man makes me even want to be a better woman. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I have never been inspired to be a better woman until I was with this man. And that says a lot because I have a big fucking head. So for me to not think I'm perfect, it takes a lot. So the thing is my son, when he sees my boyfriend and my son makes comments. My son is like, You guys are, like, always holding hands. You guys are, like, always kissing. You guys are, "Oh, I know, mommy, you're gonna sit on his lap." And mind you, my boyfriend and I were appropriately affectionate in front of my son, but my boyfriend and I, we just and we've been together for a while, okay? And we just there's so much love and such a beautiful connection. We can't not touch each other. Like, we are very just affectionate. Like, if we walk by each other, we definitely are coughing a feel, you know? If we're sitting next to each other, our hands are on, my legs are like fucking rolled into them. Like, I am just a crazy little spider monkey of a girlfriend, but my boyfriend is the same way, he's like got his big arm over me always. But the fact is that my son notices that, and it's because that was foreign to him, because when I was with his dad, my son never saw affection. He never saw what love looked like. There are so many people who think that they're doing such a good job because, like, the fights are in front of the kids or something, or the kids don't know that dad's cheating, and mom keeps her game face on and tries to keep the household together and keep the family all hunky dory. And that's so unhealthy because energy doesn't lie. Kids can sense it. Kids can see what love looks like. And that was one of the most heartwarming things about my son, is that he literally noticed and made a comment about how much my boyfriend just loved to touch and kiss each other. You know what I mean? And again, we do it in such an appropriate way, but it's like, if I'm getting up to go to the bathroom or something, I'll kiss my boyfriend really quick. It's like we're that bros. But, like, my son as a boy, he's like, "Oh, yuck," but he sees this, and it's good for him though, because this is the kind of husband I want my son to be for someone one day. And you know what my son said? My son, I'm telling you this, he never learned this from his dad. He has never learned this from his father. Every single time I get ready, get my makeup on, hair done for, my son and I to go somewhere, my son on his own will say, "You look so pretty, mommy." He acknowledges me and compliments me in my beauty. He just turned 7 years old, you guys. And this is because he is seeing what my boyfriend does. He is, like, completely mirroring what that is supposed to look like, and I couldn't be more proud, because he certainly didn't get it from his father. So, the thing is the reason why I'm saying this, ladies, is because no one can measure the amount of unhappy that you are experiencing. If your husband is doing something to you, knowingly doing something to you, I must say. If he is knowingly doing something to you that is hurting you, some might think it's no big deal. You might think it's a big deal. And I think that matters. No one is allowed to measure what your kind of pain is. So if something is not serving you well and something is hurting your heart, and if you have talked about it and brought it to that person's attention, and they still do not care to make adjustments or improvements, then you are valid in your unhappy state. But what I will tell you is, a good mom is only a good mom if she is a happy mom. Because, and this is kind of sensitive for me to say right now, but I will never forget it. When I was married, my son was young. Obviously, we had our baby together, and I was in a really unhappy marriage. I was very, very unhappy, and I was expressing that. We had gone to 3 different couples counselors. Like, I was fighting to make this marriage work. One of our marriage counselors even gave us homework to do at home. So, the second we got home, phones needed to be down, and we had to sit down and look each other in the eye and tell us, 3 things that we appreciate about each other and 3 things that made our day great. And so I was very excited to try this homework. This was our second marriage counselor that we had went to, and this was her suggestion. So I was very happy to, like, try the homework on the first day. I get home from work, I see my husband on the couch, and I was like, "Okay, babe." I was like, "Let's do this." So I, like, put my phone down, and I was excited. I was giddy. I was almost schoolgirl giddy because I was like, "This is a good attempt to save our marriage." Like, I just felt like we were gonna be able to win this back, right? So I sit on the couch, and I hold his hand, and I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Do you wanna start or do you want me to start?" And he was like, "I do not wanna do this right now." And I was like, I was really taken back, honestly. I my heart kinda sank, and I was like, "What do you mean? Like, this is literally day 1, like, this is of us doing our homework." And he's like, "I don't need to do this right now." And in that moment, it really made me feel like there was no hope at this point in our marriage. Like, this was our attempt to do the work. You can't just go to a fucking session and be like, "All right, I'm going through the motions to save our marriage." No, you have to do the work at home. You have to do the work outside of the fucking therapist's couch. And so, as a mom and as a new mom, I was sad. I was just sad and I was angry. I had a chip on my shoulder because the tension in my household, you could just cut it with a knife. It was so negative. I was not in love. I was not happy. I wasn't being valued. My sex life was awful. It was never good. I will be honest. And I'm not just saying this because my ex Shrek sucks, but, like, I have always told my girlfriends this, like, the sex was never, ever good, and people would be like, "Oh, well, then why would you stay with them?" And it was because I was not being shallow, and I was like, "Okay, well, he has a job, he's nice to me." So I factored in other things. I should have just judged by the dick, but just kidding. But the thing is me as a new mom being this unhappy in my marriage. This is kind of embarrassing to say, guys, but I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent, and this might be super sick to say, but just I felt like I couldn't enjoy my baby. I felt like I could not fully enjoy my baby because I'd be so pissed off. It's like we would just get done having an argument or he would just storm out of the house and I was fucking mad, and then my baby would, like, do something super cute or laugh or something. And this is the moment where your heart is so full. You are just like, there's tears in your eyes with all of these moments with your baby. And I just felt like I couldn't even fully enjoy that. Like, it was so hard, because you feel like you're not showing up as a good mother when you're so unhappy. And I know that we are so strong. We're such strong women and we put a poker face on to try and make everything look like it's okay in front of our children or even in front of our friends. And this is sometimes I think it's one of the worst things you can do because yes, you don't want your children to see how bad it really is or how bad it really could get, but I also think that there's a great deal of harm in staying in that zone and clicking into that gear for too long. You have to get to a point where you're like, "No, no, no, no." And it sounds so cliche when people are like, "Oh, self-love. You have to love yourself." It's true. And so to find other ways to, like, really feel that, it's like you have to love yourself as in you have to know that you are not selfish because you want to go to the gym and work out and work on your body even though you're a new mom. Like, you are not a fucking milk factory. You do not need to be suctioned to your home to just vacuum and put the kid on the nipple. No, you have to do things that bring you happiness. You have to be able to, like, take a shit by yourself. You have to be able to go to the gym. You are very like you're not selfish at all when you are doing things, positive things to make yourself a happier, more confident person. When you're working on yourself, whether it's, working out or meditation, mindset, books, even getting your fucking hair done, things that just make you feel good. it matters because that's how you move through life. If you're confident and you feel really, 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 really good, that is exactly what other people are going to see about you. The way you feel about yourself, the energy that you give off is what people receive. And I feel like I sound crazy sometimes because not everyone believes all this. No, it's so true. It is like when you sit with such posture and you have such good energy and you smile and you're just so light. That is, I swear to you, that is what people receive. Have you ever been in a relationship where you can tell something's off? You can just tell something is off about that person. Like, it's just all of a sudden different, and you weren't fucking wrong, right? Basically, it's like, "Oh, yeah, something was off," and then I found out later he was fucking cheating, So there's so many things to be said about energy. It's like your intuition, it's your gut, but it all correlates too to energy around you, and that also matters within you. It's how you feel about yourself. So think about yourself as a mommy. That's what your baby's receiving. You know what I mean? And so I do. I just wanna say, like, a happy mom is a good mom, and divorce is not a failure. Breakups are not a failure. You can do it, you will do it. You're a damn good mom. For the longest time, I allowed my ex-husband to bash me and make me feel terrible because he would constantly say, You left your son. You left your son." And he tells me I left my son when really it was just me leaving him, my ex-husband. But he knew that the only thing that really truly mattered to me at that point was my son. So for me to leave and move on and just, share custody, he wanted to make it seem like I had left my son. And for the longest time that killed me because us moms, when you love your babies, you get mom guilt so fucking easily. So easily. And so I allowed him to make me feel like shit for that, and then I have realized, I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." I was hurting, and I made a decision to no longer hurt anymore, and I am a damn good mom because of that. I will tell you right now, even with dating, I felt like the sexiest, most confident woman to date. I felt so fucking good for I felt like I was the biggest catch in the world as soon as I was divorced and in my 30s because I would go into these dates, these situations so sure of myself at this point in my life. I would sit at a dinner table with a guy and I was just so fucking sure of myself cuz I have already had a baby. I have already had the ring. I have already had the white dress. I have already had the roof over my head. I had a boat, all this shit, all this bullshit. And I was not looking for someone with great sperm to come give it to me. Like I had already done all that, right? So I felt like the sexiest woman to date. I was the best woman in the world to date because all I cared about was finding a very good, respectful, loving man. I'm not looking for a stepdad. I am my son's dad. I am my son's mom. You know what I mean? Because it's my household now and I do it on my own. And so it's like you meet someone and you don't have this like image in your head of the American dream anymore cuz all that's fucking chump change. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like if you've been married and divorced, you realize marriage isn't all it's cracked up to be. Am I anti-marriage? Absolutely not. I would absolutely get married again. Absolutely. I'm not anti-marriage, but I'm also it's not my lot in life. I'm not out here hunting for a husband. I'm not out here like if my boyfriend never proposes, still gonna be with him the rest of my life. Like, I'm never gonna give him an ultimatum because why would I wanna be without him? He treats me so well. He treats me so well. He's the greatest man on earth. So if I never got a ring on my finger, I mean, would I want one? Yes, but it's not going to be one of those things where I'm like, if I'm not married, then who am I? No, I am grateful for the quality man that I have. And that is why in the dating world, when you're a single mom or a divorced woman or anything like that, you do this work on yourself and you just realize like no one can fuck up my life now, and you become the most powerful woman in the world. You become the most powerful woman. I felt so sexy having my own one-bedroom apartment with my son, and I just felt so damn good. I was paying my rent on my own. I did it without child support. I did it without alimony. I was stressed. I was still struggling and broke, but you know what? I was so damn happy. I would come home to my own mess. And, my obviously you can pick up after your kids, it's whatever, but no one wants to pick up after a fucking asshole, right? So it's like to come home to this light energy and the home that you've made, like you did the damn thing. You're so fucking sexy. And that's the thing. So it's like you do the work on yourself. You start working out, you know what I mean? I got way fucking hotter after my divorce. You know what I mean? And don't even fucking say, "You fucks," like, "Oh, well, you should have gotten hot during your marriage." I was hot during my marriage, I just got hotter. This is the glow up, bitch. You know what I mean? It's like when you start working on yourself and like really showing up for yourself. And I started reading mindset books and I even started to turn to God more. And everything just started to line up because I knew that I had this life that I have built for myself that no one can shatter. My whole life, I have had a life where people enjoyed having collateral over me. People enjoyed really being able to rip things away from me. And it felt so good and so sexy to know like I am the king and queen of my own fucking castle. And so that's why, ladies, like if you're going through a situation where you're unhappy, it's okay. Like it is okay because you don't need to do that anymore. Like you don't need to subscribe to sadness. You're not a shitty mom because people would quote unquote say you broke up a family. That's not breaking up a family. You're breaking up toxicity. So when someone says that, and anyone, if your family is giving you shitty advice, if your husband's giving you shitty advice, like you don't want to break up your family though, do you? No, bitch. I'm breaking up toxicity. And the thing is you might find that if you're in this situation and you split, that you both might become better parents and way healthier to deal with. And you guys might get along much better in separate households. And this isn't me over here. I'm not like, "Oh, this is the encouragement divorce podcast." No, no, no. This is a very specific podcast. If you can relate to this in any way, if you are going through this, speaking from someone who is divorced, divorce does not define you, ladies. Divorce does not define you. Listen to those words. You cannot say that you're going to walk around this earth for the rest of your life with a scarlet letter. "I am a divorced woman. My name's Catherine, and I'm a divorced woman. Can I get a pound of ground turkey?" Like, no, no one gives a fuck. You're fine. Divorce is a fucking speed bump. My God. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be okay. You're not a failure. You're not breaking up a household. You're still a damn good mom, and you have to let go of this mom guilt. It's okay to fucking be over it. If someone's an asshole and they're not willing to change for you when you communicate all of the things that you need to be better, that you want to be better, and it's not happening, are you really gonna die this unhappy? Do you really wanna die this unhappy? I would tell you right now, if I would have stayed in my marriage, I probably would have ended up being an alcoholic. I couldn't wait to have my glass or 3 of wine every time I got off because I just fucking hated my husband. He was so mean to me. He was so fucking mean to me. It was bad. And it was like I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy. And my poor son had to witness a lot of that. And it's like, I think about it and I'm like, damn, I am such a savage. I am such an icon for my son. He sees a single mom who did the damn thing. And I am beyond proud to be his mommy because my son makes me so happy. It makes me feel so blessed every single day. And I probably wouldn't value many of these things that I talk about today, that I teach him about today. I probably wouldn't value any of that had I not gotten out of the situation that I was in. So I know you ladies can do it. And again, this is very specific. I'm not over here like saying like, "Oh, your husband doesn't put his laundry away. You should just divorce his ass and get really hot and get a divorce." Like that's not this is a very specific topic. If you have been feeling this way, you are not a failure because divorce is not a failure. And I love you and I am here for you. And this is again episode 2, Casey 30 Thoughts podcast. Many more to come. Also, you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, it's our 30 Thoughts Instagram. DM us on there if you want us to talk about a specific topic or if you want to share a story and hear our thoughts on it, because I'll have Ren on here too. We would love to hear it and include you guys, any subjects, any topic. You let me know and we'll add it on in here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. All of you. I'm actually podcasting. I'm podcasting from my bed right now. All right. Well, I gotta go.